silence. Most people are terrified of it. They cannot stand it. They cannot handle it. They cannot survive without noise. They fill every second with chatter, arguments, excuses, and empty words. But silence is dangerous. Silence is power. And the man who learns to stay silent learns to become untouchable. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is control. And self-control is the greatest weapon you will ever own. Think about it. Who do you fear more? The one who screams, shouts, and throws wild threats? Or the one who sits quietly, watching, saying nothing, but whose eyes tell you everything? You fear the second one. You fear the man who doesn't need to shout to make his presence known. That is what it means to stay silent, stay dangerous. The weak cannot control their tongue. The weak cannot control their emotions. They react, they explode, they argue, they let the world know exactly how they feel. And by doing that, they give away their power. They hand over their weapon. But the strong master self-control. They do not waste words. They do not react to every insult. They do not reveal their plans. They hold back. They wait. They let silence do the talking. And that silence shakes the ground more than noise ever could. This is why you must understand, silence is not the absence of power. Silence is the purest form of it. When you stay silent, you are unpredictable. And unpredictability is fear. When others cannot read you, they cannot control you. When others cannot provoke you, they cannot defeat you. Your silence becomes your armor, and your discipline becomes your sword. Look at the greatest warriors, the most respected leaders, the most feared villains. None of them wasted energy in endless words. They spoke less, but every word was sharp, precise, and unforgettable. Their silence made them dangerous, because no one knew what they were truly thinking. And mystery is power. But silence alone is not enough. It is silence combined with self-control that makes you truly unstoppable. Because silence without control is just emptiness. But silence with discipline is dominance. What does self-control mean? It means you do not let your emotions master you, you master them. It means you can feel anger without exploding. You can feel fear without retreating. You can feel pain without breaking. The man with self-control cannot be manipulated, cannot be provoked, cannot be broken. Because no matter what happens, he chooses his response, and choice is power. Understand this. People will try to push you. They will insult you. They will test your patience. They want you to react, because a reaction reveals weakness. But if you stay calm, if you stay silent, if you keep your emotions locked under control, you win without saying a word. That is the power of restraint. That is the power of silence. Noise is everywhere today. Everyone talks. Everyone argues. Everyone shouts their opinions, their feelings, their plans. They reveal everything, and in doing so, they make themselves vulnerable. But you, if you choose silence, if you choose discipline, you separate yourself from the masses. You rise above the noise. You become the one they cannot read, cannot predict, cannot control. Why does silence hold so much power? Because silence is rare. And what is rare is valuable. Everyone can talk. Everyone can argue. Everyone can throw words into the air, but very few can stay silent. Very few can control themselves. And that's why when you do, you immediately rise above the rest. Think about a crowded room. Everyone is speaking, laughing, debating, and in that chaos, there is one man who says nothing, who simply observes, who remains calm. Do you notice him? Of course you do. His silence speaks louder than the noise around him. His presence draws attention without effort. Because mystery always dominates chaos. Silence is attractive. Silence is magnetic. People want to know what you're thinking. They want to know why you're not reacting. They wonder why you're not desperate to be heard like the rest. And in their curiosity, you gain power. But here's the mistake most people make. They confuse silence with passivity. They think silence means doing nothing. They think silence means weakness. They are wrong. Silence is not inaction. Silence is preparation. Silence is calculation. Silence is storing energy while others waste it. Silence is patience before the strike. The tiger does not roar before it hunts. It waits, it stalks, it studies, it stays silent until the moment comes. And when it moves with speed, with precision, with force. That is why silence is dangerous, because silence is the calm before the storm. In your life, you must become like the tiger. Learn to wait, learn to hold back, learn to let others waste themselves in noise, while you sharpen yourself in silence. Then, when the time comes, your action will carry more weight than their 1,000 words. This is where self-control comes in. Silence without control is fragile, but silence with control is unstoppable. Self-control means you do not let your emotions hijack you. It means you don't lash out in anger. You don't chase validation. You don't reveal your plans out of excitement. You don't defend yourself against every insult. Instead, you choose your response. You remain calm. You remain silent. And in that silence, you remain in command. Understand this truth. The one who controls himself controls the situation. The one who cannot control himself will always lose, because people will manipulate him, provoke him, and guide him like a puppet. But the man of self-control cannot be moved. He is solid. He is steady. He is dangerous. This is why discipline is greater than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Self-control is discipline in action. It is choosing the hard road over the easy one. It is choosing silence over noise. It is choosing restraint over reaction. And that choice builds strength. Think about the greatest fighters, the true warriors. They do not shout before the fight. They do not boast. They stay calm. They stay silent. Their silence unsettles their opponent because it shows control. It shows focus. It shows unshakable strength. A loud fighter is desperate to prove himself. A silent fighter already knows who he is. The same is true for life. A loud man wants recognition. A silent man already has power. A loud man wants respect. A silent man earns it without asking. A loud man wants to be feared. A silent man already is. Now let me tell you something important. Silence is not only power against others. Silence is power against yourself. Because when you stay silent, you master your inner chaos. What just shut down the useless chatter of the mind? You bring stillness to your thoughts. And in that stillness, you find clarity. You find focus. You find truth. Most people are slaves to their minds. Their thoughts control them, their emotions control them, their impulses control them. But the one who learns to be silent learns to control the mind itself. And when you control your mind, you control your world. Silence gives you vision. Silence gives you patience. Silence gives you strength. But silence is not easy. It is one of the hardest skills to master. Why? Because your ego will fight it. Your ego wants to prove itself. Your ego wants to defend itself. Your ego wants recognition, applause, validation, and silence starves the ego. That is why silence feels uncomfortable at first. But that discomfort is the path to mastery. If you can silence your ego, you can master anything. The world today is full of weak men because they cannot control themselves. They overshare, they overreact, they over-explain, and in doing so, they lose respect, they lose power, they lose control. Do not be like them. Be the opposite. Be the rare one. Be the silent one. Build a presence so strong that you don't need to speak to be heard. Build a discipline so sharp that you don't need to explain yourself. Build a strength so deep that you don't need to defend yourself. Let your silence become your weapon. Let your self-control become your shield. And remember this, the world always underestimates the silent man. They think he is weak. They think he is passive. They think he is harmless. But when he finally acts, his strike is devastating, because no one saw it coming. His silence hid his strength until it was too late. That is why you must stay silent, stay disciplined, stay dangerous, because the loud may win attention, but the silent win respect. The loud may win arguments, but the silent win wars. Silence is not about saying nothing forever. It's about knowing when to speak and when to hold back. It's about valuing your words, guarding your energy, and controlling your emotions. And when you master this, you will no longer be like the rest. You will no longer be predictable. You will no longer be weak. You will be dangerous. So train yourself every day. Train yourself to hold back when provoked. Train yourself to observe instead of react. Train yourself to stay calm when others panic. Train yourself to let silence speak for you, because silence backed with strength is louder than any voice. When you stay silent, you force the world to adapt to you. People lean in closer, waiting for your words. They respect your timing because you are not wasting theirs. And when you finally speak, it strikes like a blade, clean, sharp, unforgettable. This is the art of control. Most men let the world pull them like puppets, reacting to every insult, chasing every distraction, proving themselves to every critic. But the dangerous man does not react. He does not chase. He does not prove. He holds his ground. His silence becomes unshakable. And here lies the truth. Silence is not only about others, it is about you. It is about mastering your hunger for attention. It is about breaking your addiction to noise. It is about building an inner world so strong that nothing outside can disturb it. This is how you become dangerous, not by shouting, not by bragging, but by staying calm, controlled, silent, and letting your actions do the talking. Stay silent, stay disciplined, and you will become the storm no one sees coming. Stay dangerous, and the world will never forget your presence.